Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Ragnamod VII series. It is now episode 13, I believe. It has been a while since I last recorded, and as you can see I've done a little bit of quote-unquote off-camera mining. But no, I've just been off kind of playing on my own time for the past month-ish or so while I've been moving, getting that all figured out. But I think I'm kind of in a place where I'm good now. I got everything set, kind of how I like it. I got a new microphone, as y'all can probably tell. It sounds much better. But in the meantime, y'all are probably wondering what this place is, because last time we were here, none of this existed. I mean, that building existed, but it was like bare bones. And how I'm flying right now. Landon actually gave me some draconic armor because Landon has been freaking grinding. But yeah, we can actually go check out his base here in a minute. And I got a few of my other friends on, PK Junkie, and I think his name's Firelord, which is his friend. But so we got a few more people on the server now, and everybody's enjoying it. This particular area over here is a bit framey, just because of all the stuff we have going on. So just be wary of that. Don't mind it. But I got a new computer as well, so hopefully the frames are a decent amount better. But yeah. And so kind of what this place was that farming, idea. We were going for the farming district, and I kind of got that situated. So let me come in here and show you what I've done. So we'll go over all these, but basically Landon wanted me to get all the stuff for this ultimate stew right here. So in this ultimate stew, you need all these different things, all of them, and then an apothecary cauldron. So basically all these things are all for the cauldron, and all these are also for the cauldron. These had to be grown on trees, which kind of sucked because I built those massive farming things, and I'm only using the one, and I'm using this one, and this one. The other two aren't even set up, and these are more than enough, but regardless, again, I apologize about the frames. But if we come in here, we also have a milking area, so we have a bunch of cows in a jar pumping into this tank, and then pumping into this tank. And this tank is very full, or almost very full. We have a lot of milk, more than we'll ever need. And we also have all the dyes set up, so I no longer have to worry about dyes. Dyes were very annoying. So I have a lot of all the dyes, and these chickens took forever to grind for. Landon gave me the base chickens, and it just took forever to breed them. So long, in fact, that I asked for a time in the bottle, and now I have a bunch of time in a bottle. So that's good. We also have a dirt chicken because I ran out of dirt, and we needed a bunch of dirt. I also have yet to hook up this elevator, but that's okay. That's besides the point. Regardless, over here we got a bunch of stuff happening. This is like making salt, leaves, and this stuff. This lily is, I don't remember what it was used for, but I have it there for some sort of purpose. Oh, it was to make that terra preta. So I have a bunch of these to make a bunch of terra preta, but it's okay because I don't need that anymore. But regardless, we have a bunch of leaves for also terra preta. And this is making salt. So this is not actually in the base mod pack. I kind of coded a recipe that it's okay. It's okay. It's not cheating. But basically I just have a heated cauldron that turns water into brine, and then that brine is transferred over here, and then that brine is turned into salt. So that's how that's made, and it all just works together, and we now have a ton of salt. And let's just go take a quick look at how much actual plants we have. We have a ridiculous amount of sugarcane and wheat. Absurd amounts of sugarcane and wheat. And we also have absurd amounts of this stuff. Considering you only need about a stack of these cauldrons, we have a ridiculous amount of these things. But today's main goal is cheese. Today's main goal is cheese. We're here to make a bunch of cheese, and we love cheese. So mainly what we need is milk buckets, cooking pot, and salt. So we have all those things, and we're going to put it all in a mixer, and we're going to kind of get this set up so that way we can have a mixer that automates cheese, and we don't have to worry about it, and we will have a ton of cheese. Because Landon's working on getting a bunch of singular... Oh, let's go check out Landon's base, actually. That reminds me, before we start on our cheese journey. So, Landon's base is here. Sorry, my brain just like lagged there. And as you can see, he's been a bit busy. If you ever see me just appear with random stuff, this is probably where I got it. Because Landon has all of these. He even has an alchemistry setup. I don't even know what this does. And he has a bunch of power. He has this massive draconic thing, which we will get into later on. But he has too much of energy. And yeah, basically Landon's just broken. He has everything. Landon has everything. This is all interesting. But regardless of that, we're going to go check out my other friends that joined, their base. So if we go over to, not that one, it would be this one. So inside of their base, they got a bunch of stuff happening. And it's a pretty cool little base. They got villagers, you know, a little immersive room. They got a bunch of create stuff down here, which is nice. And they got a bunch of pneumatic craft and more create stuff, which is interesting. But yeah, they're doing pretty good as far as that goes. They got that set up. I'm surprised that they got that set up. They did good on that. They got an actual ME system, not refined, which is an interesting choice. But they also have this stuff. Okay, we're gonna go for free cam. So cheaty. But they have this, and this is their... I don't know how they got down here, really. But they just have a bunch of basically boilers down there. And over here is they have a secret. If you come through here, there's a little hole in the room right there. And they have a secret kitchen. And then, I wonder who could have put that there. Anyways, they have a bunch of fridges down here that I don't really know the purpose of. But that's kind of their base. Let's go out here and check it out. So, they've got a pretty solid looking base, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I think it looks pretty solid. They just got a little kind of mountain hole in the wall, you know, in a Yosemite Valley, which looks pretty cool. I actually thought about putting our industrial district just over there, which might work out, might not, who knows. I might pick a different place later on. But yeah, so I'm going to get back over to the actual base, and we're going to start working on the cheese. Alright guys, so I think I have it all set up properly. So we have a spout here with the milk from upstairs that has a filter set to only let milk buckets through. They're going to that cauldron, and then empty milk buckets go out to this depot to get filled. The cheese will come out to the bottom here. The salt will come out through the top here and get fed in the same pipe. That all goes in the same thing. And the output is filtered cheese as well. This blaze burner is running off of lava, same lava that these are running off of. And I think now all that we need to do is get this just set up properly. So hopefully So there we go. Sorry, my internet and my other things do not seem to like this. The only problem is with this new house, we don't have the greatest internet. So I can't really connect to my server back home that easily. But regardless, I think it's actually making cheese. Salt, cooking pot, milk bucket. It made at least one piece of cheese. Accepts any forged salt, accepts any forged milk. Boom. Boom. Just gonna mix that up. Interesting. That should work. Let me go troubleshoot this real quick. So guys, from what I can tell, is that it has to be interacted by some sort of player entity kind of thing. And I think that's kind of what we got going on here. But I'm not sure if it's doing the thing, actually. I don't think it's actually crafting. So, Maybe this needs to go slower so that way it forces it to, like, I don't know. Make cheese, dog. It's not going up now. No, it's just not going up. Okay, more troubleshooting. Alright, guys. So now it appears to be working. What we got going on here is kind of like... Let me throw this in there. It's really weird. I tried putting milk in there. It turns out we didn't need the blaze burner. All sorts of different things. So kind of still the same gist. It's just I added kind of a mechanical arm that's taking from here and putting it into there, and it's no longer a pipe. That seems to have fixed it, and there's also 2 pots and 2 buckets. So keep that in mind. There's 2 pots and 2 buckets always going in the system. Or not buckets, whatever those are. Cooking pots. Oh, yes, sorry. Two pots and 2 buckets. Yeah, I was right. But regardless, it's working now. We are getting the cheese. Government cheese. But, yeah, so that's kind of what I had planned for today's episode. I think it might be a relatively short episode. I might add more. I might not. Who knows? Y'all might not even get to hear this. I don't know. Depends on how I feel like editing the video. If there's more, you know, then let's freaking get it. And if not, I'll see y'all next time. Alright, guys. So I've decided that the video is actually not over yet because we need to do more things. But my frame rate is absolutely tanking right now. And I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's these belts and contraptions. Hold on. I don't believe that was the case. I think it was the fact that my computer was using too much RAM, which I just ordered some more RAM for my computer. Or maybe not. I could have been wrong. But I think we're just going to have to deal with the little bits of lag that I'm getting. Okay, I think I fixed it now, like actually, because I dispersed the chunk loading to the threads on my CPU. So now we should be good. And I have a plan for what we're going to do for the rest of this episode. We got to get started on making some of this stuff. And all of this stuff requires one single ingredient, and that is flour. Every single thing here requires the flour. I think you can even use for making dough. Yeah, you need flour. So we have to make a bunch of flour. What is this dough used for? Can we use it for everything that we want to use it for? We can make dumplings. That's kind of nice. We might be able to make... What kind of... This donut? Do we... Nope, it just needs flour and milk. Interesting. Does this need any type of dough? This does need dough, but it won't use the create dough, I don't think. Will it? Nope. So we have to make their specific kind of dough. So it looks like we're going to be making multiple kinds of dough. But I think we can go ahead and turn all of this wheat that we have here into flour. So I think that is going to be the next step in our little plan here. Okay, so we're going to put together this little crushing wheel setup. So we're going to take this. We got our shafts right here. Hook the shafts up to the belt. And then, well, these need to actually be vertical gearboxes. So we'll take these, put them in there. Craft some vertical gearboxes. Throw another shaft right here. And go like this. This is how you make a really solid crushing wheel setup. Kind of like that. And we'll have the power going that away, and we'll have the wheat drop right into here out of the sky, basically, is going to be the plan. So we'll put like up here in my little paths kind of looking thing that we got going on right here. This ought to be interesting how I get this done. Let me figure this out. Whoa. All right, guys, so here's the setup for the wheat, or for the flour, sorry. Wheat flour, I guess. We have a pipe that's coming through we have a controller extension up here that's attached to our storage drawer system up here, which is connected to all of our wheat and everything. As you can see, we're pulling wheat, and we've already pulled about 1,000 wheat out of there, and we've gotten about 3,000 wheat flour, which is about right. Because whenever you get wheat flour, you get a 25% chance for 3 wheat. So That's pretty good odds right there. And we're getting a decent amount of wheat right now. And we got seeds going into a garbage can down there. So they're just getting deleted. We have enough seeds. We have enough seeds. And I think that's looking pretty good as far as I'm considered. And the next step, now that we have the wheat flour, is to craft the wheat dough. And we can do this dough, and we got to do this dough. We have 2 different doughs to craft. And I don't know why that is. I might actually make a recipe for that later, so that way you can use this. Because I don't understand. Well, can you use this for everything? Because if you can use this for everything, can you use this to make bread? I don't know if you can use this to make bread. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll just have 2 different lines that kind of split. That split this wheat flour to make the 2 different kinds of dough that we need. And the wheat flour also needs to be used for making tortillas. And I think that's it. So we need 3 different lines of wheat dough going down this way. And we'll probably have like maybe a threshold switch in case we need some wheat flour for something else. Let's see what it's used for here. I don't think we need it for... I mean... yeah, some things need it specifically, but nothing that bad. We can make honey candy. That's kind of cool. Speaking of which, we need to get a bee farm, so that way we can get some honey candy. And we'll probably use something from thermal to get the honey, because you can use like a hopper or whatever to get that stuff. A hive hopper from thermal, and we'll probably have that over in this area too. But yeah, I think now that that's done, I'm going to get started on splitting that line. Alright guys, so for our dough setup, I have built this absolutely monstrous contraption right here that we got going on. So I have the dough being pumped into the wheat flour being pumped into here, and then this funnel distributes it into these tunnels that are on forced split that pump it into this channel and this channel. This one gets distributed on round robin among these 2, and these 2 are making... that one over there is making the tortilla, and this one over here is making the cropatia dough. And we had to do that same kind of setup with the cheese, where we have the mechanical arms that are pulling out the pots and pans and putting them back in. We have the pipes pulling the buckets out of the basins, the empty buckets, and filling them up in spouts, and then pumping them back into the input sides, along with the flour. And the buckets are getting put in, or the pots and pans, I guess. And on the other side, over here, we have this distribution channel that comes down here and gets force split again into one that's making the regular create dough and one that's literally just for the flour. And it is working fine, and it's getting pumped all into one kind of area. We're going to have to move this controller more than likely, so that way we can have access to all that. But this is a very framey setup. I've noticed my frame rate drop since I've built it and started it. But you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We have now the dough set up, and we're going to give ourselves a few upgrades. So that way we don't have to worry about that. These are all upgraded. And we are good to go. Shoot, we might as well just throw 4 of them in there. So now we have enough dough and tortilla and flour and everything to make all of these. So that is all set up. So for next episode, I think the plan is going to be get the bacon and beef set up. So that way, and the sugar processing. So bacon, beef, and we actually need to make sugar. I think we already have enough pecans and eggs. But that should be all good to go. We need to do that much. We can just grind it down kind of in the setup we have like this. We'll probably put that setup over here, so that way we have a sort of sugar factory. And then the assembly of the foods, I don't know where that'll be done. We might just kind of like put a random area somewhere. It might be done in this corner, honestly. Kind of have it piped all over here, and we can have it all set up over here. But that might be the strat for that. So this contraption is already making all of our stuff, and we're all good. And I think that is going to be it for this episode, guys. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you next time.